I hope you thought up some good questions, some short questions. That'd be fantastic. So does anyone would like to ask a question? I'll run around with the mics. I've got to go to Maze. He did ask first.
Start the ball rolling. For Brian, with the elongated skulls, has anyone done a brain cast on the inside with latex?
That's an excellent question, and so far no one has cast the inside of the skull. But what I've been doing is I've been able, because some of them, the more recent ones that I found, have been broken, as in shattered to pieces, because grave robbers are still plundering every day the ancient tombs around Paracas and elsewhere. Senior Juan and I, and Irene, when she wants to come, we still do a tour, usually once a week or once every 2 weeks, to the major royal graveyards, and we see where the latest plundering has been happening, because these people are farmers, they're poor, so they're looking for gold and silver and ceramics and things like that. The skulls are usually either crushed or thrown off, bits are thrown off to the side. So I take those parts and take them back to the museum and reassemble them. But because some of them are partial, I'm able to take a flashlight and go inside, thus proving the point that the elongated skulls, the brain filled the entire cavity, because some people have said, well, the skulls are bigger, but the brain's the same size as a normal human. It's not the case. So that's definitely something I would like to do in the future, is to do modeling with latex or something inside. The other quite amazing thing is that there are a number of mummified skulls that still contain the brain, but we don't have the resources at this point to be able to extract the material and do DNA analysis, but we will do. It's just a question, it's always a question of funding. The Lloyd Pye, work with Lloyd Pye that is now commencing, thanks again to Andre and Lily to some degree, it will start as of tomorrow. It's, and it's a step-by-step process. People keep saying, well, when are you going to get the results? And it's like, when we do. If you would like to finance it, it'll speed up. It's honestly, that's the way it is, because so many people want stuff for nothing on the internet. It's like, can you send me 100 photographs of the latest skull you've found? It's like, I don't think so. I actually have a life. But yeah, progressively we're moving. I'm just in a fortunate position in that no one has looked at this material with the intensity that I have since 1928, so I'm able to access anything I want. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions near me? That'd be great.
My question's for Michael Cremo. There's a lot of momentum about Walter Crittenden and Paramahamsa Yogananda's concepts of the Yuga Cycles. And if I'm right, I understand that that's not the traditional time scale of the Yugas. Could you explain the difference, please, between what Walter Crittenden is conveying and what the Vedic scriptures actually convey about the time scales of the Yugas?
Okay, a bit of technical question about Yuga cycles. Like many ancient peoples, the ancient people of India had a cyclical concept of time. And the basic unit of that cyclical concept of time is called the Kalpa, or the day of Brahma. It lasts for 4,320,000,000 years. It's divided into 14 subcycles called manvantars, each one lasting about 300 million years. Each of those 14 manvantars is divided into 71 cycles of 4 yugas that repeat again and again and again. So the 4 yugas are Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga is the shortest. It lasts for 432,000 years. And that's what the Puranas, the historical writings of ancient India, say. And then the next age going back, that's the last stage of the four. So the third one would be twice a Kali Yuga, or 864,000 years. The one before that, the Treta Yuga, would be 3 times 432,000 years, and the Satya Yuga is 4 times 432,000 years. Those are the traditional numbers that are given in the ancient Sanskrit writings of India. The Paramahamsa Yogananda had a guru named Sri Yukteswar, and he had an alternative concept of the yugas, and he based it on the precession cycle. And I mean, just roughly speaking, the precession cycle is 24,000 years. It's got to do with, well, I won't go into what precession is, but there's the phenomenon of the precession of the equinoxes. If you go out to different megalithic sites, they're aligned to different solstice and equinox points, the place where the sun rises, at an equinox or a solstice. But if you measure year by year by year over many thousands of years, the position of the sun relative to the background of stars at the equinox points will shift through all the signs of the zodiac over 24,000 years, roughly. I mean, the actual figure is something like 25,900 or something. So what he did, now the ancient Indian astronomical writings speak of a precession cycle, so that's also there in ancient Indian astronomical text. And the traditional Yuga cycle, the one that I mentioned with the long ages, it's also tied to different astronomical events. So what Sri Yukteswar did is he wanted to make a short Yuga cycle that would harmonize with the precession cycles. And so he came up with a series of 8 yugas where you go Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, then Kali, Dwapara, Treta, Satya. Turn it into an ascending and descending cycle of yugas, the whole thing lasting 24,000 years. So that's the difference. I go with the long Yuga cycles because that's what's there in the ancient Sanskrit writings of India. I also admit there's a precession cycle. So you can have both. Anyways, it's a very technical question. I'm not sure how many people are directly interested in this, but since you asked.
Yeah, hi, Michael. Well, as Karen's decided to bring the subject up, I'd like a follow-up question. Because I met you in Sedona with Walter.
Right, and we did have a nice time there. He invited me to his conference, and
yes.
I love the guy. Because I think there is a precession cycle.
I wasn't going there, don't worry.
Yeah.
But his understanding about the Yuga cycles coming from Sri Yukteswar is that because they knew the descending cycle was going to be so bad in the depths of the Kali Yuga, that they actually extended the time frame. So that's why they didn't tell the people that it was coming into the depths of the Kali Yuga and the Golden Age was so far away. That's their understanding. So I just wonder what your thoughts were on that. Thanks.
Okay, another technical question about the Yuga cycles. Generally when I'm speaking with a general audience, I just stick with millions and millions of years and I don't get into the details of Yuga cycles. But since you're directly asking, according to the traditional system, the Kali Yuga, which is the last and the worst of the yugas, of the cycle of 4. That began about 5,000 years ago.